Hey, what's up, my friend? Welcome back. So, in this week's market analysis, right, I'm going to do something slightly different, right? The first part of today's video will be talking about breakouts, right? Because I've got quite a few questions from traders who ask me, hey, Rainer, how do you tell, when a breakout is going to be real and when it's going to be a false breakout? So, I want to talk a little bit on that topic. And finally, towards the end of the video, I'll share with you one little tip, right, or technique that I use myself to actually filter out trades that I want to take. Because sometimes, you have correlated markets, like say, for example, the pound dollar and the euro dollar. They both have, a sell signal. Which markets do you take, the pound or the euro? So I want to share with you, right, some little tips and tricks on what I actually look for to pick the better performing currencies. So all this and more in this week's market analysis. I'll see you there. Okay, okay. So first up, right, let's talk about how do you know whether breakouts is going to succeed or fail. And I'm going to tell you outright that there is no way to know ahead of time whether your breakouts are going to be winning trades or losing trades. Right? If you don't believe me, just look back in time, right? Say for example, this is the Aussie Sing, right? This is the Aussie dollar against the Sing dollar. You can see that it is pretty much in this consolidation over here for quite a long period of time. So you just look at your charts, you can just identify this area of resistance, right? I think somewhere around here. So you can see that it tested once, tested twice, thrice, 4 times, and the 5th time it break out. So to be honest with you, I went long this trade, right? I went long on the breakout. Then price started to consolidate. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it could be a flag pattern before price trades higher later. But hey, guess what? RBA came out with a news announcement and then it slumped lower and I got stopped out of the trade. Then some of you may probably argue with me, Rainer. He said that, oh, the breakout isn't a good breakout because, it has traveled so fast. So this is why it's a breakout I wouldn't have taken. Okay, so if that's the case, you can look at this trade. This is a trade of silver. Again, a breakout that I took. You look at the daily time frame. Pretty much same thing as the Aussie against the Sing. Area of resistance. Alright, you see, it tested once, tested twice, tested thrice, breakout. I took this trade and this trade happened to be a winning trade. And if you ask me, could I have differentiate between the Aussie Sing and the silver? I can't, right? These are all basically, I'll say to me, they're all the same trades. They're all breakout trades. I have absolutely no idea ahead of time whether this will be a winning trade or this will be a losing trade. And this then brings me to an important point. Since I have clearly no idea whether this will be a winning or losing trade, what will I do? I will do two things. Number one, I would risk a fraction of my trading account because I have no idea whether it's going to be a winning or losing trade. And number two, I will always have a stop loss in place because I know that I could potentially be wrong. So you can scout, historically based on all the charts or all the breakout trades that have actually happened. You can look at it. Trades which are trading setup which have pretty much look identical over time, right? That you've seen over and over again. Some are going to be winners and some are going to be losers. And the key thing is that you never know which are your winners or losers. So this is why, right, I mentioned these two things is so important. Risking a fraction of your account and always having a stop loss in place. So no point trying to justify, say, oh, Rainer, you should wait for a close or, you should wait for price to, wait for the retest, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, right, those are, I would say, entries management that would depend on your own trading methodology. Maybe some of you may wait for retest. That is fine as well. But for me, the moment price breaks out, right, the moment it trades above the high, I'll be looking to get long. That's as simple as it is, right? This is how I trade breakout. But of course, I have certain criteria as well, right? I like it to be ranging for a long period of time, right? Like this over here, we have this inverse head and shoulders pattern over here, right? I like price to be ranging for a while before taking the breakout. So again, these are just some of the basic rules that I use to trade the markets. So the key point I want you to understand is that, there is no point trying to justify a trade when it goes wrong because chances are that trade could just be the cost of doing business. Okay? So that's it. Let's move on. So another thing that I want to share with you is let's talk about a few major currency pairs. Alright, so I think recently I see a few traders posting their setup on euro dollar and the pound dollar. So euro dollar, alright, this is pretty much a trade. I think this came into an area of resistance. Sorry, my lines is horrible. Okay, so let me do this again. Area of resistance. Then price formed this bearish pin bar over here. And now it's trading lower. So at this point in time, right? Say you look back 1, 2, 3, 4 days, right? I think it was Tuesday. Price formed this pin bar on euro dollar. And at the same time, on the pound dollar, it formed this bearish engulfing pattern. So traders are now spoiled for choice. Hey, Rainer, which one should I take? Should I take this bearish engulfing pattern on the pound dollar? Or should I take this bearish pin bar on the euro dollar? Right? They both look, pretty, fine to me. So they asked me their opinion. So here's what I think. If you ask me, right, personally, I would very much prefer to go with the pound dollar. I would say that is a better setup if you ask me. And I mean, no doubt price, both of them have pretty much went in your favor right now. But I still want to share with you my thought process on why I think pound dollar is a better trade. Right? So let's analyze the euro dollar first. Euro dollar, I'm actually seeing signs of strength in this currency pair. I see higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and price step into this area of resistance. And when you got this bearish pin bar over here, I wasn't really too convinced about it, right? I wasn't really convinced about this price rejection. So chances are, my guess is that price may retrace lower and then take another step towards this area of resistance once again. This is just my own guess, my prediction, and I could jolly well be wrong, right? I'm just sharing with you based on the price action of the markets I'm seeing right now. Whereas on the other hand, the pound dollar, this is a much better trade in my point of view. Is number one again, is in a downtrend, right? It's a very clear downtrend, right? We have lower highs over here. Whereas compared to the euro dollar, the downtrend is not too apparent, right? So that's one thing the pound dollar has. Second thing it has is that it has a rejection at the 200-day moving average over here, right? As well as it came into this area of resistance, right? So these are a few additional factors that the pound dollar has. And on top of it, if you look at this bearish engulfing pattern, it is much more convincing compared to the pin bar you saw earlier on euro dollar, right? Am I right to say that? This bearish engulfing pattern has engulfed the last 1, 2, and almost 3 candles, right? Maybe almost the last 4 candles, right? So this is showing you sign of strength by the bears. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you this technique, right? To see which is a better currency to trade. This technique is like what I call, using a cross-currency technique. So let's say, for example, you're comparing between euro dollar and pound dollar. What you can do is that you can look at the cross-currency pair, namely the euro against the pound. So you'll be looking against the euro against the pound and see what the pair is doing. All right, so let's have a look at it right now. Euro pound, where are you? Here. Okay, so the daily time frame, this is the euro pound. So what do you notice right now on this euro pound daily time frame? You can agree with me that it's in an uptrend, right? You have a series of higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. It's an in and uptrend, right? So since you know that the euro pound is still pretty much in an uptrend, right? Looking at this daily time frame, so what you are thinking is that you are expecting the euro to appreciate against the British pound. Means the euro go up, British pound go down. Am I right? So based on this time frame, if you feel that the euro will continue appreciating against the British pound, what you'll do is that if you want to go short, if you want to go long on the dollar, right? Meaning you're bullish on the US dollar and you're finding a currency to go short against, chances are you're going to pick the pound dollar, right? Because you can see based on this chart, the euro against the pound is the weaker currency at this point in time. So when you look back at the euro against and the pound, right? This is the euro and this is the pound. You want to go short on the pound instead, right? Based on what I just shared with you earlier, right? You have a few factors going for you. Number one, the trend. Number two, the 200-day moving average. Number three, resistance, right? Pardon my handwriting. I always haven't had a good handwriting since my primary school days, and my teachers are always saying that I'm a nightmare to them, which I kind of agree, right? But you can't blame me, right? It is how the way my hand want to move, right? So the fourth thing you had is the cross currency pair, which I shared with you, right? The cross currency, which is currently favoring the euro for strength and pound for weakness, right? You can see that the euro pound is currently in an uptrend, so that means the euro is expected to strengthen against the pound. So if all this thing going for you, right, the trend, the 200-day moving average, area of resistance, and the cross currency favoring shorts on the British pound. So this is why I would pretty much choose to go the pound dollar short instead of the euro dollar. Okay, so here's the thing, right? You can do all the fancy analysis in the world and it can still be wrong. Right? I'm not going to BS you, right? This is going to be a winning trade for sure, right? I can do all the most fanciful analysis, the indicators, blah, 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 all the, the chimology, the complexity and everything, and say that it's a sell signal. But hey, the market can just, defy all odds and then trade higher and stop you out for a loss. This is trading, my friend. If you can't accept this, stop trading, right? I'm just going to paint you the reality of what can happen in the markets. Okay? So that's it. I hope I have given you some insight, on why the euro dollar and the pound dollar trade, right? A better one would be the pound dollar. And for those of you who are short, I believe I saw a few posting in the group. For those of you who are short, okay, potential areas to lock in some profits is this swing low over here, here, and here. Okay, so this boils down to trade management, how you want to manage your trade. Some will take half at here, remaining 1/4 here, 1/4 here, or some take half over here and try to target the remaining at this lowest low over here, or some take at 1-to-1 and try to ride the remaining all the way down. Different ways to manage the trade. Different traders have different personalities, so they have different trading styles. There is no one size fit all. Okay, but that's it, right? I hope now you have understand the thought process behind, why I may favor certain trades over the other. So that's it. I've come to the end of this week's market analysis. If you have any questions, any doubts, any queries, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, right? My motto is helping traders succeed, right? If you succeed, I succeed. I lead a more fulfilling life. I deliver value, and I can go on to the next. When I leave this world, I know that I've imparted something behind that traders can make use of, right? You win, I win. Okay. So with that, I wish you all good luck and good trading. Talk to you soon.